I don't know whether you have experienced this or not, but I myself have experienced this a lot of times that, for example, I consume some content today, for example, about language learning. And because of that, I'm so motivated to go to the rabbit hole of studying, for example, English, which is not my native language. And the next day, I consume some content about habits. And then suddenly I shift my focus and I want to make better habits. And for example, the next day I consume some other content about how to take smart notes and the importance of taking smart notes. And because of that, once again, I shift my focus and I go to that rabbit hole of studying taking smart notes. And as a matter of fact, I'm constantly jumping from this area to another area to another area and so on. And I'm not making tangible progress toward my goal because of those random content consumption. For example, I myself consume a lot of content about building an audience on social media. And one day you come across to a person who says they have built their audience by posting tweets on X and turning those well-performing ones into threads and turning those well-performing threads into YouTube videos. And they say this is the way they have built their audience. So you might want to apply this strategy and maybe you stick to it for 1 week, but after 1 week you come across to another person who says the key is posting consistently on Instagram. So once again, you apply that as well for another week, but suddenly you come across to another person who says short form content is terrible because you are capturing the attention of the user for a short amount of time, and that is low quality attention. So you need to post on YouTube. You need to post videos on YouTube. And then you shift your focus and go to YouTube and try to post there. By the way, I should mention that the thing I'm saying is not a dig to those people. I'm not saying this is their fault. No, this is not their fault. This is my fault that I'm constantly shifting my focus, because from getting from A to B, there are millions of ways in order to get from A to B. So there are millions of creators talking about millions of ways for getting from A to B. So they're honest, and this is not their fault. This is my fault that I'm constantly shifting my focus. Another example, let's say story or experience, is about my language learning. English is not my native language, but as you can see, my English is not terrible. I think it's kind of good. But yeah, English is not my native language and I should practice it. But I remember that last year when I was consuming content from Steve Kaufman, Anyway, when I was consuming content from Steve Kaufman, I was very motivated to read new books and learn a lot of new words and consume a lot of content in English. Because if you consume content from Steve Kaufman, you can see that his whole idea is language immersion. He's very into language immersion. And I remember in that time, there were a lot of days that I was studying English for 6 hours a day. That's really a lot. As you can see, my English is not that terrible to study 6 hours a day. And also, you should keep in mind that the previous year, my first priority was not studying English. And in my opinion, this is even true for books. For example, when I was reading a book called Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller, he was talking about the importance of storytelling for business. And that was a very good book. And after that, I went to a rabbit hole of studying about storytelling. I took some courses, I watched a lot of videos on YouTube, and also I read some books about storytelling. I can continue and keep talking forever and give you a lot of examples, but I think you got the idea. And now you might raise an objection, and you might say, oh, that's the exact purpose of reading new books. That's the exact purpose of consuming new content, because you want to be exposed to new teachings and you want to learn new stuff and explore new things, so that from all of those new things, you find some areas which you're interested in and then go to the rabbit hole of studying those specific things. Yes, I agree, and you're definitely right, but the problem arises when all of these things happen in a random manner, not in a deliberate manner. So what's the solution? The thing I'm going to tell you in the next couple of minutes or so is my suggestion, or at least something which I'm going to apply for myself. So the first step is that I'm not going to consume any random content in the next 2 months. For example, I usually consume content from Danko, from Austin Schrock, which is another favorite creator of mine, from Ali Abdul, from Steve Kaufman, and some other people. And in the next 2 months, I'm not going to consume any random content from these people. After this 2-month period, I've dedicated a week for random content consumption, which I'm going to talk about it later on in this video. So please wait a minute. So the first step is not to consume any random content in this 2 months. But step number 2 is to define a project for yourself for the next 2 months. What do I mean by project? I mean a set of goals. For example, my career is Python programming, so I have some maintenance tasks for my career, plus I'm going to pursue something new. And that new thing is this YouTube channel. So for the next 2 months, I want to upload more videos on this channel. So this is my project. I'm going to upload more videos on this channel plus some maintenance tasks for my career. And based on my project, I'm going to consume some content related to my goals, related to my project. For example, I have consumed some content for this specific content, which I am recording right now. And also I have consumed some content for the next video. So this is generally my plan. I'm going to consume some content related to the ideas which I have for some videos, which I'm going to upload on this channel. For example, suppose that you have a business and your bottleneck is sales and marketing. And your project is improving sales and marketing. So it's very obvious that you need to consume content related to these two things. And you should not faff around, and you should not waste your time by consuming some generic personal development content. By the way, I recently learned the phrase faff about or faff around, and that's why I tried to use it in the previous sentence, and I was successful. But now maybe you say, okay, but what about those random content consumptions? Because at least in my opinion, they are useful and they are necessary as well. For example, I myself came across to copywriting topic when I was having a random content consumption. Otherwise, I wouldn't know about copywriting. So my suggestion is, or at least a thing which I'm going to do for myself, is that after this 2-month period, I'm going to dedicate 1 week, at last 1 week, I mean maximum. So I'm going to dedicate 1 week for that random content consumption. And in that week, I'm going to do random content consumption. And also, I'm going to study English more and more because I really love to study English because it is going to help me to improve my speaking and improve my fluency while I'm speaking, which is something which I really struggle, and I hope one day I can improve it. So as you can see, using this plan, first of all, we are not shifting our focus constantly. We are not shifting our focus moment to moment. And also, we are not sacrificing anything. We are not even sacrificing our random content consumption. That's it. I hope you found this video helpful. And if you did, please like the video, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.